band to get hired back. You're doing some gigs, you're doing some work, doesn't matter your age, if you're new in the business or you've been at it for a while. Sometimes we have blind spots, and those blind spots keep us from getting hired back. And sometimes they're little things, and sometimes they're big things. And most of the time, a lot of times, they have nothing to do with your ability as a musician or as a group. Okay, the band might be crushing it, playing great, but you're not getting callbacks. So anyway, I've put together a top 10 list of things that you can do and things you can avoid doing, let's say, that will, take away a black eye from the band and, hopefully get you called back. I'm going to start with number 10 being the softest and the easiest, going up to number 1, which is the one that is the hardest hitting, and maybe we just don't want to hear it, right? So number 10, this one's kind of easy, I think. Don't have a good social media presence, and don't getting into arguments or pissing contests on social media. It's so dumb. Back in the day, they used to have like music critics, right? There'd be somebody that came in and wrote up a critique on a performance or on a show or on a concert, and they would put it in the newspaper, or they would put it in an industry magazine or a circular, and you were kind of at their mercy, right? Whatever that music critic was and whatever they had to say about your band or your performance. And you couldn't really argue with them because it was there in print and it's out there for the world to see, and who's going to argue with them, right? Well, most of the time, most music critics were frustrated musicians that couldn't play or couldn't get into a band. So they said they just smeared other bands, that they wanted to be in those groups. Well, nowadays, with the advent of social media, people get on there and they say something bad about your performance, and you can come on and rebut them. Well, sometimes these things turn into these arguments and soliloquies that go on forever, and it's dumb. Don't do it, right? Don't get into those arguments. A venue, a club owner, somebody that's hiring you for a wedding, they don't want to see that stuff, right? They want to see a professional presence on social media. So make sure that you have that. I think that's really important. Number 9, this is one that's super important, I think, to everybody. Pick up your own gear. Be responsible for your gear. Don't wait for somebody else to take care of your gear for you. Now, this can be, it can preserve your gear. Let's, say that. But let's put yourself in a situation where you're the headliner and you've done the big gig. You've done your big gig and the show's over and you want to go bask in the glory of that. Well, yeah, you want to bask in the glory with that, and that's cool and fine and everything like that. But the sound guy, the sound crew, the stage crew, they want to go home, right? So maybe talk to a few people, shake some hands, kiss some babies, do whatever you got to do, but pack up your gear and get out of there because they want to go home. Let's say that you are the opening act, right? Same scenario. You did great. Your friends are there to see you. Everybody's there. You just opened up for your favorite band. Well, that favorite band of yours wants to get on stage. They want your stuff out of the way. Get your stuff out of the way. Take care of your gear. Last but not least, you're leaving the gig. It's not somebody else's responsibility for your gear, right? So make sure you take care of your gear, put it in its place, make sure it doesn't get lost. Take care of your own gear, okay? Next one, check in with the sound crew. Make sure the sound crew is cool and happy with everything. And coming out from my vantage point, and this, you can do this too. It doesn't matter what you play. For me, I'm a drummer, right? And all of my drums are internally mic'd, meaning that all the microphones are mounted inside on an apparatus called a Kelly shoe. And the sound guys just have to walk up and plug into the drums, right? I also, instead of having overheads, I have what's called underheads. I was influenced by Max Weinberg from the E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, where all my cymbals are mic'd underneath. And again, sound guys just walk up and plug in. Now, normally they love this, right? Because they don't have to set up their mics. They don't have to take out their mics. They just walk up and plug into the kit. It's super easy for them, right? At the end of the night, they don't have to put their mics away. They just unplug the kit, wind up the cables, and they're out of there. 9 times out of 10, 9 3/4 times out of 10, the sound guys love it, right? Every once in a while you have somebody that doesn't like that particular sound, but most of the time they love it because it's easier on them. So what I do, and you can do this too, is you can check with the sound people, right? Say, hey man, after sound check, or before the show, after you've made some noise, you guys played a song or two, go check with them. Say, hey, Are you happy with the sound? Are you happy with the microphones? Everything sound okay? Is there anything I can do to make your life easier for you? I think that that's important because they appreciate that. In all the years my drums have been mic'd inside, I've had one guy that didn't really care for it. And this goes for all the guys in our band because pretty much I think everybody carries their own microphones, even the vocal mics. There are microphones. We bring our own stuff. I know Dave and Sam have their own mics for their amps, so they check with the sound guy. Hey, you cool with that? Sometimes sound guys, if they don't want to use it, I'll tell them when they're micing up the kit. Hey, if you don't want to use my mics, you can use yours. I don't care. We just have to go through our in-ear system, but whatever you want to do. And again, most guys, they don't want to go through the trouble. No, use yours. It's cool. So, but check in with them. Make sure that they're happy with what it is that you have and your gear. Because it's their sound system, so they want their sound system to sound good with your gear. Once you're at the gig, once you get there, local gig, you're in a, whatever it is that once you get there, if you travel together, by yourself, whatever, don't waste time. Start getting set up. Get your stuff from how it got to the gig, whether it's in your car, in the band's trailer, underneath a bus, whatever. Get it into the club, get it set up, get going, get ready to go for the show. The sound crew, the stage crew, those guys, again, they don't want to waste time. They don't want to be waiting on you, right? They want to be ready for sound check when they want to do their sound check. And if you're lollygagging around and you don't have your stuff set up and you're making phone calls and you're going outside and you're talking to you're just wasting everybody's time. So get in there, get stuff set up, get ready to go, get ready to do your job. If you drink, I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life, right? I quit drinking coming up on 7 years ago. Best decision I've ever made in my life. I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life. If you do drink, stay sober enough to perform well and to take care of everything I just talked about. There's nothing worse than at the end of the gig, one of the band members has had, one or two too many. Been there. Again, this is not a judgment. This is an observation. Please, I want to be really clear about that. Be sober enough to take care of your stuff, to do everything that I just said, right? Make sure that because that is a professional thing. The quickest way to not get a call back is to just be a drunk idiot, right? Club owners even don't want to deal with that, right? They're there to sell booze, right? They want you to help them sell booze. Concert venues, they don't want to deal with that, right? Don't be a knuckle dragging Neanderthal. Okay, be a professional musician. Respect the other musicians and their gear, meaning if you're at the gig, and in my case, I'm a drummer, and I'm a drum nerd, man. If I'm we're opening for somebody, and we're opening for a big headliner, and they got this great drum kit. Admire it, look at it. Maybe if the drummer's there, talk to him about it, share some ideas and anecdotes, and talk drums with them. But don't just hop up on the drum riser behind the drum kit and look at the drum set. Even if I would never do that. I would never sit down and start tapping away. Oh, what's the sound? I never do that. Respect people's gear. I think that goes without saying, but you'd be surprised. In my case, right, I've had my drum set up, and I walk out of the room, and I hear somebody playing drums. I'm like, who's playing my drum set? Walk in there, and somebody's just sitting down playing, just I know a drum beat. Don't do that, okay? That is so disrespectful. I can't imagine going over to my guitar player, I'm picking up his guitar and playing one of the 6 chords that I happen to know, right? I would not do that, So don't treat other people's gear with respect and treat their space with respect. That's really important. Communicate clearly, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say you're on the way to the gig. The gig's a 45-minute drive. In my case, I live in Los Angeles, so instead of being 45 minutes, it's an hour and 45 minutes. I'm on the way to the gig, and something happened. Somebody dropped a banana peel in the road, and there's a wipeout, and Comes to a grinding halt. Make a phone call. We all have a cell phone nowadays. Hey, look, I'm on the 405 and it's shut down. I'll be there as soon as I can get there. Give yourself extra time. That's another one I should have worked in there. I'll put it in right there. Give yourself extra time because of traffic, right? Because of whatever. You have a flat tire, whatever, but give yourself plenty of time. But communicate. If you're going to be late, make a phone call. Let them know, hey, I'm on my way, but this happened. Yeah, and that's one example, okay? But communicate very clearly. Okay, now these next two here, these kind of go hand in hand. I'll tell a little story of how it really was eye-opening to me just real recently. I mean, we've always done this, but I hope this helps you. So, tip the staff. Give them a tip. What do I mean by that? The last show of this year, it's 2025. Right now, it's December 28th, 2025. The last show of this year was at the Bakersfield Music Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago. I had a great event there, and they've got a really cool room. It's got a nice room. They've got a radio station there. They've got a recording. They've got two radio stations there, a recording studio. They have a little restaurant. It's kind of a small venue, but man, it's a lot of fun, and it's a really cool place to play. And they feed you there. That's most of the time. Gigs like that, casino gigs, what have you, they feed the band before the show, right? It's one of the perks that you get as a band member. Well, a lot of times you'll have a little green room or a conference room where you sit and you have your dinner, and a waitress or a waiter will bring your food to you as they would in a restaurant. Well, they did that there, and we had our meal, and everybody stood up and threw a few bucks on the table. So there's a little stack of money there for the waitress, the server. And the owner saw this, the guy that is the owner, manager, whatever, of the Hall of Fame, and he was like, oh my God, I've never, bands don't tip the waitresses and the servers. A lot of times they just don't treat them with that respect. It's expected of them. That's so cool that you guys would do that. And to me, it's kind of like one of those things, well, why wouldn't you? They're a waitress. That's how they make their living, You're just because you're in the band doesn't mean that you're above that, right? So if you're in a band and you're playing a casino gig or you're playing anywhere where they're going to feed you and the server brings you food, treat it like a regular waitress or a waiter. Give them a tip. Throw a couple of bucks on the table. It will be noticed, and the server will be thankful for it. Again, that's how they make their living. Just because you're working there as well that night and doing the gig doesn't mean that they don't want to be paid for their job. I mean, you want to be paid for your gig, right? That's important. Okay, the second one. This is number 2 in the list, but the next one that kind of goes along that same little story, same place. When we left, the stage was clean, meaning there was no empty water bottles, there was no beer bottles, there was no set lists strewn about the stage and broken drumsticks and, what have you, laying around the stage. We pick it up, and he noticed it. The same manager, same guy, said the same thing. He's like, man, most of the bands leave the stage just trashed. This is so cool that you guys picked the stage up like that. This is our third time playing there. This is the first time I've ever heard him say anything like that. So maybe he didn't recognize it before, or he did and he just didn't say anything to us. But my normal MO and everybody in the band's MO is kind of this way. Like after we pack up, after the show, I pack up the drum set and put it away. The exact opposite is the way I set it up. So my in-ear system goes in first, and then the cymbals, and then the drums, and then the hardware and everything goes in its case and into the trailer. And after that's done, I always walk back into the dressing room and I check and make sure I didn't leave anything in the dressing room. I mean, it could be anything, a toothbrush, my shaving kit, whatever. Make sure it's not there. Oh, my t-shirt that I changed out of, put that in my bag, make sure everything's out of there. And then I walk across the stage and I make sure I didn't leave anything on the stage. Anything that gets left there is money out of my pocket, and any trash that's left on the stage, I pick it up. It's not somebody else's job to pick up after me. I'm a grown man. It's not, my mom doesn't work there, so I pick that stuff up. And they do notice that stuff. When we walk back in, incidentally, and we pick up our stuff or double check to pick up our stuff, we call it an idiot check. We're doing an idiot check to make sure that this idiot didn't leave something backstage. So we always do that. So do an idiot check. Walk around, check, make sure you didn't leave anything. You know, and if, in my case, if you're a drummer, watching this, you broke a stick, right? And the broken sticks land on stage, pick it up, throw it away, you know. There's an empty water bottle, pick it up, throw it away. People don't want to have to pick up after you. So, and again, I think it goes without saying, but it got noticed and recognized, and so there you go. I definitely suggest that. This is the number one, and this one again I think goes without saying, but you'd be surprised. Be on time. Be on time. If they say that load in is at 3 o'clock, we usually need an extra hour because we travel with our own in-ear monitor system. So we usually, if load in's at 3, we try to get there at 2. We also communicate that with the staff and with the sound people and with the person that is a stage people, so they know we're getting there early. And we do it for a few reasons. Number one, we want them to know that we're going to be there early with our in-ear system. And when we get there early, sometimes they don't want you there because now you're in their way. So when we get there, we always go in and find the person in charge and say, hey, is it cool if we load in? We'll stay out of your guys' way. 9 times out of 10, they go, oh, don't worry about it. Go ahead and start putting your stuff on the stage. Let's get this show on the road. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll be like, let's just put your stuff over to the side. We're still getting stuff dialed in on the stage. When we're ready for you, we can start hauling up. Go ahead and bring it in, but just be cool. Or don't even, a couple times, you know what, let's not unload anything yet. Let's wait till we're ready to go. Fine, that's cool. We did our due diligence. We're there early. Now, at least be there early or be on time. If load in and sound checks at 3, be there at 10 minutes to 3, right? Be there, be early, especially if you're a drummer. I've said this in past videos. If you're a drummer and you're the guy in the very back of the stage and you're loading on from the front of the stage, you don't want to be stepping over guitar cables and boxes and pedal boards and all that sort of stuff. You just don't want to do that, right? Just be there early, get your stuff set up, get ready to go. So there you go. There's my top 10 list of getting hired back and looking like a professional. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. That stuff helps the algorithm a lot, and I really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, check out my t-shirts. I got these really cool t-shirts on TeePublic, and they're all drum and drummer related. They're a lot of fun, so you can check those out. There is a link in the description down below. And for more content like this on being a professional musician, you can check out my book, my latest one, Drum Up Your Business. It is on my website, hard copies, or on Hudson Music for digital. Links for those also are in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.